Hello friends, today we will see Unit 2 Services and Components of the Operating System for 10 marks. This unit covers Course Outcome 502.2 Use OS tools to perform various functions. Unit outcomes are Start, Stop and Restart the given services on Linux. Explain use of the given system calls of specified OS. Explain the process which OS follows in managing the given resources. Explain use of the given OS tools. In our previous unit, we covered the topic definition of the operating system, views of the operating system, and types of the operating system. In this unit, we covered operating system services, system calls, components of the operating system, system tools. View of operating system services. At the bottom of the operating system, there is the hardware component. The operating system consists of various OS services, and the system calls are used to interface between the user program and the OS services. The user program is having three different types of interface: GUI interface, batch interface, command line interface. The system calls are used to request for the OS services. Operating system services. An operating system provides an environment for the execution of program. It provides certain services to the programs and to the user of the program. The specific services provided, of course, differ from one operating system to another, but we can identify common class of the services. These operating system services are provided for the convenience of the programmer to make the programming task easier. First service is user interface. This interface can take several forms. One is the command line interface, which uses text command and the methods for entering them. Another is batch interface, in which the commands and directories to control those commands are entered into the files and those files are executed. Most commonly used is the graphical user interface. Second, program execution. The system capability to load a program into memory and to run it. The program must be able to end its execution either normally or abnormally. File system manipulation. The file system is of particular interest. The program needs file to read and write the programs. Also needs to create and delete the file names. I/O operation. A running program may require I/O. This I/O may involve a file or an I/O device. For specific devices, special functions may be designed. For efficiency and protection, user usually cannot control I/O devices directly. So, OS must provide a means to do I/O. Communication. One process needs to exchange information with the another process. Such communication can occur in two ways. The first takes place between the processes that are executing on the same computer. The second takes place between the processes that are executing on the different computers which are tied together by the computer network. Communication may be implemented via shared memory or the message passing. Error detection. The operating system consistently needs to be aware of the possible error. Errors may occur in the CPU, in the memory hardware, in the I/O devices, or in the user program. Each type of error, the operating system should take the appropriate action to ensure the correct and consistent computing. Additional functions exist not for helping the user but for ensuring the efficient system operation. Resource allocation. When the multiple users are logged on the system or multiple jobs are running at the same time, the resources must be allocated to each of them. Many different types of resources are managed by the operating system. There might be a routine to allocate various resources like printer, modem, storage drives, and other peripheral devices. Accounting. We want to keep the track of which users use how many and which kind of resources. This record keeping may be used for accounting or for simply used as statistic. Protection and security. The owner of the information stored in the multi-user computer system may want to control use of that information. When several disjoint processes executing concurrently, it should not be possible for one process to interfere with the other or with the operating system. The protection involves ensuring that all the access to the system resource is controlled. Security of the system from the outsider is also important. Passwords are used to gain the access to the system resources by the authentic users. System calls. System calls are the programming interface to the services provided by the operating system. This can be provided by two modes of operation in which programs can execute: user mode, kernel mode. The program is executing in user mode. It is not having any access to the memory, hardware, and other resources. When the program is executing in kernel mode, it is having direct access to the memory, hardware, and other resources. If we will execute the program in kernel mode, the problem with the kernel mode is that during execution, if the program crashes, entire system will crash. If we will execute the program in user mode and if the program crashes, the entire system will not get crashed. The user mode is the safe mode for the program execution. So, most of the programs are executed in user mode. When the program is executing, it may need some of the resources like memory, hardware, etc. So, it makes the call for the use of that resources. For that instance, the program is switched from the user mode to the kernel mode and use the resources. After use of the resources, program is again switched from kernel mode to the user mode. The call that the program makes to go from user mode to kernel mode is called system calls, which allows the user level processes to request some services from the operating system, which the processes itself are not allowed to do. Example, to copy the content of one file into another file. One file will be considered as the source file and another file is the destination file. The program will need the name of the two files as the input, that is the input file and the output file. This name can be specified in number of ways. For that, system calls are acquire input file name, write prompt to the screen, accept input. Acquire output file name, write prompt to the screen, accept input. Once the two file names are obtained, the program must open the input file and create the output file. Each of these operations require system call. When the program tries to open the input file, it may find that no file of that name exists or the file is protected. So OS should display error message. For that, system calls are open the input file and if file does not exist, abort. If the input file exists, then we must create the new output file. We may find output file with the same name is available. This may create error. System calls for that are create the output file. If the file exists, abort. Now both the files are available. Enter a loop that reads from the input file and writes to the output file. For the same, loop is used. The system calls are read from input file, write to the output file. Finally, after the entire file is copied, The program may close both the files. For that, system calls are close output file, write completion message to the screen, and terminate normally. So, for each and every operation, system calls are required. System calls are the programming interface to the services provided by the operating system. System calls are a mediator between the operating system and the user processes. System calls written in high-level language, for example, C, C++. System call implementation. System calls are programming interface to the services provided by the operating system. A number is associated with each system call. System call interface maintain a table index according to these numbers. The system call interface invokes the intended system call in the operating system kernel and return the status of the system call and any return value. Most of the details of the operating system interface are hidden from the programmer by application program interface. It is managed by the runtime support library. System call implementation example for the open system call. User application has created open system call in user mode. It will be transferred to the kernel mode through the system call interface. A number associated to the open system call will be searched in the table. The table will consist of the address of the actual open system call execution. The control will be transferred to that location and all the instructions which are related to the open system call will get executed. The last instruction is the return. This particular will return the control of the execution to the user mode through the system call interface. Another example is standard C library. C program is having printf statement. This printf statement is for writing the data to the output. So the control will be transferred from user mode to the kernel mode through the system call. The write operation will be searched in the table and address for the write operation will be received from the table. So the control will be transferred to the write operation. The last instruction for the write operation will be written, due to which the control will be again transferred from the kernel mode to the user mode. System call parameter passing. Three general methods are used to pass the parameter between the running program and the operating system. Pass parameter in the register. When there is a single value, it will be passed through the register. If we want to pass multiple values, so the values will be stored in a block or the table in the memory and the table address is passed as a parameter in the register. This approach is used in Linux or Solaris. Also, we can use a stack to pass the parameter. Push operation is used to store the parameters onto the stack by the program, and pop-off operation is used to take out the parameters from the stack. Passing of the parameters as a table. Now in this example, X is the starting address of the table in which the parameter values are stored. So the value of X, that is the starting address of the table, will be stored into the register and there is a system call for the 13. So your point control will be transferred from the user mode to the kernel mode and the control will be given to the memory location of the call 13 and the parameters of the table X will be given as the input for the system call execution. After execution of the system call 13, the control will be returned to the kernel mode. Types of the system calls. There are 5 different types of system call: process control, file management, device management, information maintenance, communication. So, process control. A running program needs to be able to halt its execution normally or abnormally. If the program terminates abnormally, dump of the memory is taken and error message is generated. A process executing one program may want to load and execute another program. Problem is with the control. If the control return to the existing program, then when the new program terminates, we must save the memory image of the existing program. Thus, we have effectively created a mechanism for one program to call another program. If both the programs continue concurrently, we have created a new process, then it will be multi-program. The system call exists specifically for the purpose create process system call. If we create a new job or the process, we should be able to control its execution. Get process attribute and set process attribute will determine the attribute of the process. Having created new process, we must wait for them to finish their execution. For that wait time system call is there. The process may want to wait for the specific event to occur. For that wait event system call is there. The process should then signal when that event has occurred. For that signal event system call is there. So the process control system calls are end, abort, process, load, execute, process, create process, terminate process, get process attribute, set process attribute, wait for time, wait event, signal event, allocate and free memory. File management. We first need to create and delete the file. For this, system calls requires the name of the file. Once the file is created, we need to open it and use it. We also read, write, reposition it. Finally, we want to close it. We may need same set of operation for the directory. Files have various attributes such as file name, file type, protection code, accounting information, and so on. Get file attributes and set file attributes are the system calls to set and get the attributes of the file. So the system calls for the file management are create, delete, open, close, read, write, reposition, get file attributes, set file attributes. Next is device management. A program as it is running may need additional resources to proceed. Additional resources may be more memory, tape drive or file. If the resources are available, they can be granted and control can be returned to the user program. Otherwise, the program will have to wait until the sufficient resources are available. Files can be thought of as devices. Thus, many of the system calls for the files are also needed for the devices. If the system has multiple resources, multiple users, we must first request the device to ensure the use of it. After we finish with the device, we must release it. Due to similarities between the file and devices, many operating systems merge the two into combined file device structure. So system calls for the device management are request device, release device, read, write, reposition, get device attributes, set device attributes, logically attach and detach device. Next, information maintenance. Many system calls are simply for the purpose of transferring information between the user program and the operating system. Most of the system calls return current time and date. Some system calls may return information about the system, such as the number of current users, the version number of the operating system, the amount of free memory and the space, and so on. In addition, the operating system keeps the information about all its processes, and these are the system calls to access this information. These are the system calls to get process attribute and set process attribute. So system calls are get time or date, set time and date. Get system data, set system data, for example, current user, version number of OS, amount of free memory. Get process file and device attribute, set process file and device attribute. Next is communication. There are two main models of inter-process communication, message passing and shared memory. We will see details about these two models in another lecture. In this lecture, we will see just the system calls. The message passing model. Communicating processes exchange messages with one another to transfer information. For the same, create communication system call issue. The get host ID and the process ID system calls are used to get the communicating processes. These host ID and process ID are passed to open and close the system call provided by the file system or the open connection and close connection system call. The communicating processes exchange messages using send and receive messages system call and read and write messages system call. The close connection call terminates the communication. In shared memory model, processes are shared memory, create and shared memory attach system calls to create and gain access to the region of the memory owned by the other process. After communication, delete and detach system calls are used. So system calls are create, delete communication connection, send, receive messages, transfer status information, attach or detach remote devices. Examples of the system calls. Fork. This system call is used to create a new process. EXEC. This system call is used to replace the process's memory space with a new program. It loads the binary file into memory and starts its execution. Abort. This system call is used to halt the process execution abnormally. Aid. This system call is used to halt the process execution normally. Thank you.